Hi, this is Carla King with the Author Friendly Podcast, a consumer's guide for self-publishers in audio format.
We opened a partnership with Cube, which is basically a solution for authors to have their book translated with no upfront costs, where they share the royalties from the translated books with the translator.
Hello, authors. In this episode of the Author Friendly Podcast, we're going to explore StreetLib.com. Go ahead and open it up in your browser if you can and follow along. It's an interesting platform with a truly global distribution system, 180 countries. It is a ebook distribution service and creation service, but you can upload a PDF for print as well and distribute them. That's pretty new in the platform. They have a bunch of different things you can do in the platform. You can use their write function to upload your Word document. You can use publish to their global audience in, as I said, 180 countries. You can print, you can upload a PDF for print, and you can upload a PDF for fixed layout EPUB that you can distribute to the Apple Bookstore if you have a complex formatted book, like a picture book, a cookbook, or a children's book. You can sell in the StreetLib store, and they have a widget so you can publish your book on your own site via their widget so you can get a little more money via direct sales. They also have a marketplace where you can find editors, designers, translators. They are based in Italy and the United States. I'm talking with AC de Fombelle. She is in France and she has a very charming French accent. We reminisce a little bit. I used to live in Lyon, France. Loved it. I hope you enjoy this conversation with AC about everything you can do with this, well, not so new, but maybe unknown to you ebook publishing platform that has just added print. Oh, and stick around to the end. We go a little bit over the half-an-hour format for this podcast because we get into a really interesting conversation about publishing in lesser-known marketplaces and how authors can reach readers in those marketplaces you may not have thought of, because there are expat and English-speaking communities in small pockets all around the world who are really dying to get your books, and they don't have Amazon in some of these countries. I also mispronounced StreetLib at first. It's StreetLib, not StreetLib, and you'll find out why. So I hope you'll sit back and enjoy this conversation about creating, publishing, distributing, and reaching a global audience with AC and me. Hi, AC. Welcome to the Author Friendly Podcast.
Hey, how are you?
I'm great, thank you. We're talking to you. I'm in California and you are in Lyon, France. We're going to talk about StreetLib, and you can tell me, if you would, how it started and what problem did it solve?
Yeah, so basically StreetLib at first was an Italian company, and it was called at the time Simplicissimus Book Farm, which is not the best when you want to go international. But it was born because the founder, Antonio Tombolini, realized that there was a problem with the current publishing industry as it was, which are the costs of returns and storage and distribution for publishing houses. Seeing this problem, Antonio saw that internet and digital books could solve a lot of this problem because there was no cost for storage, distribution, etc. Which is why he first started distributing e-readers and then realized that publishing houses needed a tool to digitalize their catalog. So that was when the tool that people can use today to distribute their ebooks was born. A tool where you can basically in one click upload your ebook files and then distribute them worldwide in all sorts of online bookstores. And back then it was for publishing houses, but very quickly we realized that authors were willing to publish their own work if they had a tool that was easy to use with no high costs. And we saw an opportunity there. And that's why we opened to self-publishers as well. And going and years moving, we started creating new tools that people needed. We are listening to what authors and publishers need worldwide and creating the tools they need to publish.
The company started in Italy. You're in France.
It did. Yeah.
I noticed that you have a U.S. office. When did you expand into the United States in that market?
We opened offices there 2 years ago. A great thing was that the CEO there, Giacomo D'Angelo, got us into a program called Into NYC that is helping foreign companies settle in the USA, so that we were able to open offices in the Queen's College and partner with a lot of universities there. And we've been growing in the US with great results. We're really happy.
So I did notice, let me just insert here, that when I go to the Bowker website now to get my ISBNs here in the US, you're featured as a publishing option with them. What happened? Yeah. When did that partnership occur and what problem did that solve?
Actually, we realized that a lot of authors went to Bowker's for their ISBNs and maybe were wondering how to publish and didn't know what tools were available. And that's where we got in touch with Bowker, and they were really happy to partner with us, which is how we got an affiliation there. So since then, we've seen people coming from Bowker and signing up to StreetLib to publish.
And is that just Bowker in the US, or is it also in the EU and UK? Or
it's actually not limited to the US, but I'm not sure many people go to Bowker outside the US actually, because ISBNs can be purchased or available for free in different countries from different institutions.
AC, can you just run us through now? Okay, just to recap, StreetLib, or is it StreetLib or StreetLib?
It's StreetLib. It is. If you're wondering where the name is coming from, it's actually El Libero, which is the book in Italian. El Libero delle Street. So the books from the streets.
Excellent. So in my imagination, when I first saw it, I thought it was StreetLib because it was library. And then I thought it might be StreetLib because it was liberating.
Yeah, it can be that too.
So good. It's very international. I like how you pronounce it in French, though. So I'm looking at the StreetLib.com website. And I see a lot of things to do. You can write, you can publish, you can print, you can sell, you can read, market, connect. You've got a distribution list. So why don't we start at the beginning and say that I'm an author and I haven't even formatted my manuscript. It's just in a Microsoft Word document. How do you use Write?
Okay, Write is really nice because it's completely free and online. And basically anyone can come in, upload their work in like a doc file or whatever format, and it will open a text editor where they can check the content of the book and how it is formatted, the chapters, the subtitles, and everything. Then there is a huge selection of professionally designed themes where you can choose how your ebook will look like. And insert as well all the relevant metadata that you want included in your ebook. And then you are able to download it in EPUB format, that's EPUB 3, and PDF as well if you wish to. You can also actually create PDFs for print from StreetLib Write. There is an editor for the cover where you can set up with the right spine width and margins and everything. It's helping you do that in the correct way so that printers will have a file that matches their specifications. Then you can just download the files and do whatever you would like with them. We also provide this tool for fixed layout books.
Oh, you
So you
do?
can, yeah. So you can upload a PDF and it will create a frame for either children's books, comics, or we have different layouts for fixed layout as well.
Like
And then you
cookbooks
upload.
and travel
Yeah,
photography books and yeah.
yeah,
Mhm.
exactly.
So do they, when you upload your PDF, so you probably have created that PDF from possibly an InDesign file
Mm-hmm.
or from another service. Does that create the print book or does it also create the fixed layout EPUB?
If you upload the PDFs, that would create the fixed layout EPUB.
And does that get
Um,
distributed to like Apple iBook?
yeah, absolutely.
Uh-huh.
Yes, it does.
Excellent.
And we actually, if you use our distribution tool, you can just upload the EPUB and we will automatically create the MOBI or KF8 files for Amazon because that's their standard.
That's their standard for the fixed layout.
KF8, yes.
That's more complex than just the Mobi ebooks that you get. Like I have my Kindle Paperwhite here that.
Yeah.
Another question regarding the Mobi, when you create, for most authors who are just creating novels and very simple books, when you write and you convert, do you also get an EPUB? Do you also get a Mobi or just an EPUB?
You will only get the EPUB. You can actually ask us for the MOBI, I think.
Oh, really? Okay.
But yeah, but the thing is, we will create the MOBI file anyway if you choose to distribute to Amazon with us.
Oh, I see. So it happens on the back end. So if I say, all right, I want to distribute to your whole network,
Mm-hmm.
you and Amazon deal with it. I don't have to, right?
Exactly. We take care of everything.
But if I want to sell, so I like to encourage people to sell on their own sites as well.
Mm-hmm.
I would always ask you for the Mobi, or I would use a program called Caliber to convert it.
No, you can ask first for the MOBI. But actually, since you are mentioning selling directly to one's website, which I think is a great idea, we actually provide very easy to use tools to do that. So if you have your books published with us, you can also have them added to your website and you become the distributor and you earn more royalties, of course.
And is that via a widget, a HTML widget that you place on your site, on your book sales page?
You can either create a widget or get a widget and you have different formats that you can choose to fit your website better. Or you can get what we call an author's page or a book page where you would get a URL with your books on sale.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can, in like 1 minute and 30 seconds, it's really a really nice tool. You can create your own bookstore where you can sell any of the books you'd like to sell from our catalog. So that can be your own books, but maybe you can also sell other books if you like. And then you can have your own domain name set up to this bookstore with your own logo and colors on the background and start selling from there.
Okay, let me recap because this is really important. I love this. You have these choices. You can distribute with StreetLib and it's non-exclusive, right? So
absolutely.
So you can distribute with others as well, as long as you don't cross the streams. Like don't have Amazon getting books from StreetLib and from somewhere else.
Yeah, that creates a bit of a mess.
They just cut you off. They're like, nope, you're disappeared now. It takes a while to get back. So you automatically have a book page on StreetLib. The difference in royalties is significant, right? Because some of the distributors take the 30% or so, correct?
Mm-hmm. Actually, what will happen is you would get your normal publisher's royalties. That's about 60%. And then the 30% that usually goes to a bookstore would be split in two, 15% for you and 15% for us for providing you the selling platform and everything, the technology, and storing your books for sure.
You get distribution. You get a book page on StreetLib. You can create an HTML widget that you can put on your own website, like mycarlaking.com books/books website. I could put it there so that I get a little more money by selling direct. I can also just choose to put my Mobi up there and get all the money. That might be a little more complicated because I might have to incorporate another tool and PayPal and etc. So what you do is make it very easy.
Exactly.
And the other thing that I love is that you offer a curation capability, which means, so I write travel and specifically like motorcycle travel books, right?
Oh.
So I have a whole community of women motorcycle adventure travelers, and I publicize those on a page on my own website. And so if I grab all the books about motorcycling with women, nonfiction or fiction, and put that on the page, I can create my own bookstore that people can come to because I'm a trusted source for information on that topic or the genre, right? And so do I get any more money for having
you do
creating? Okay.
The books that are sold on your own bookstores make you the bookseller, so you would get the 15% I was mentioning before as a distributor, and the people who is actually publishing the book would get 60% for publishing the book. So basically, what you could do, if let's say you have a group of people publishing books in the same genre as you, and you want to create this curation and group, you could have all your books from any author published with StreetLib and create a bookstore with all these books, and everyone would get the royalties for publishing the book. And if you are the one who created the bookstore, you would get 15% for each sale on this bookstore.
That's great. And, that's a great marketing tool for authors, because when authors band together in the same genre, it creates visibility for everybody. So even if you're just an author, not a publisher, you can become a publisher in this way and connect with other writers, make a little more money, and market yourself along with everyone else.
Yeah, and actually another reason I see that it's really important to sell direct on your website is that I see authors making real efforts to market their books and have people coming to their websites and getting interest in their books. But then once they are in the website, they actually can't buy the book. They have to go back to another third-party bookstore, which is annoying for the reader and a bit more complicated for the author. So selling direct just removes that complication.
That's right. It does. So thank you for that. I really encourage everybody to explore that and do that. What other features do you have here? I'm looking on the site. There's a connect button.
Yeah, Connect is actually a forum, a basic forum. And the idea is we want people using our tools to be more of a community and be able to talk with each other, exchange tips on publishing, on StreetLib tools, and discuss everything. And one thing that is very particular about this forum and that I really love is that we opened StreetLib Tribe topic inside the channel inside this forum, where we, the people who work at StreetLib, have all our internal communications, but open to the public.
Oh, nice.
So whenever we have a project to discuss or we are questioning something we are doing and say, should we really do that or should we go another way? Anyone who is interested can actually see the conversation and comment and ask questions. So it's a great illustration of the way we work inside StreetLib. And I think it's important that people get to see how a company works and where it's going. So that's an opportunity to do that.
That's nice. So I can open a forum topic and make suggestions and comment on yours. You also have a market. What's that about?
Yeah, that's a marketplace for publishing professionals. So what we saw with all the tools that we provided is that authors were always asking, can you do the formatting for me? Do you have people who can help with translations or cover design or marketing, or all these questions that are in the responsibility of the author if he chooses to go independent. So because we didn't have the people inside our team able to do that, we said, let's connect publishing professionals doing this job with authors and create a marketplace for them to work together in an easy and secure way.
Yeah, and in the marketplace, you've got editors, ebook formatters, design services, marketing services, video book trailers, audiobook, and translations. I've always wanted one of my books to be translated into Spanish. I seem to have a lot of readers in Spain who'd like to, and in Latin American countries. Yeah, you have a partnership with someone to do that. Is that correct?
We do actually. That's not connected to StreetLib Market, but before we opened this marketplace, we opened a partnership with BubbleCube, which is basically a solution for authors to have their book translated with no upfront costs, where they share the royalties from the translated books with the translator. We are connected to them in the way that we distribute their catalogs to all our distribution outlets. And we also suggest our users to go to them if they want their book translated.
In the marketplace, you also can connect authors to translation professionals on a one-on-one basis, right?
Yeah, that's the idea of StreetLib Market, where freelancers from all over the world who are providing services in the likes of translations or cover design can post their service on StreetLib Marketplace, and authors and publishers can ask for a service. And then you just get in touch with this person, can get a quote, and then your order, and everything is done securely inside our platform. You can deal with someone anywhere in the world, and you don't have to worry about currencies or different laws in taxes or whatever. We take care of that. And basically, instead of just giving blindly your money and not know what will happen, you purchase some coins from the platform, from the marketplace. And when you order service, this money will be taken from your account, but not given directly to the professionals. We will keep it safely. And once you say, okay, this service has been delivered and I'm satisfied, then we give the money back to the professional.
Do you vet them? How do you make sure that they're good people?
No, we are creating a way for the authors and publishers themselves to be the reviewers and appreciate the quality of the professionals. We of course will check if there is a scam going on or something like that. But as for the quality, etc., there is a rating system inside the platform, and you can view. People can gain ranks from the number of successful services they delivered and things like that.
Yeah, that's a good way to do it. So I'm also poking around in the services, and there are a number of different languages going on besides English. Is Italian the second most popular language, or English or French?
I would say so, probably, because of course, because we were born in Italy, a big chunk of our user base is Italian. And when we opened StreetLib Market, the first thing we did was say so to our users, because a lot of authors and publishers also provide this kind of services, formatting, translations, etc. And so people who have posted services are mostly, I would say, English and Italian are the two most important languages.
I just caught you on the back end of a trip to Africa. Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, okay. So that's the part where I would talk a bit more about what I do here at StreetLib.
Great.
My mission is actually to have StreetLib spread around the globe. And the way to do that is to find people that can manage a new region of the world and make sure people there, authors and publishers, now know that we exist and spread the word, I would say, about StreetLib in this region. So we just opened in the southern and eastern part of Africa, thanks to a great manager that is actually a StreetLib user. And that's how I got in touch with him. And when I said that I wanted to find new people around the globe, he just jumped in and said, "Oh, I would love to do that in my region." And so we started talking, and it turns out that I'm sure he's going to do a great job there. So basically, we now have someone who will take care of all the people in, I think it's 15 countries in the southern and eastern region of Africa. And he lives in Uganda, which is why I was there, because I needed to meet him and giving a bit of training on all our tools and the way we work. I'm really excited about that anyway.
That's quite a title you have, the Chief Globalization Officer.
Yeah, it sounds a bit like I want to conquer the world. It's a bit like that, yes.
So what's coming up in the future that you can tell us about?
Actually, this week, I'm doing another training for another new manager for StreetLib France, because believe it or not, might be French, but we don't have StreetLib in French, and we haven't been spending a lot of time on the French market yet. This always has been a place where we wanted to be, but we just didn't have the opportunity. So StreetLib France is coming up as well. Well, I hired managers for StreetLib Spain and Latin America. And they've been, for the past couple of months, they've been working really hard to make our tools and platform available in Spanish, so that now people can use StreetLib in Italian, English, and Spanish. We also have a team working in India, because we opened StreetLib India back in January or February. And they are also working on translations and finding new partners there, and expanding in India and taking care of the Indian authors and publishers. Other than that, we are always working to find new partners so that we have a distribution that is as wide as possible. We are preparing to add, I think, 1 or 2 new outlets coming up. And we have new features coming up in the StreetLib Read application, which I didn't mention yet.
What was that application again?
StreetLib Read.
Ah, okay, the Read. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it says what it is. That's a reading app where you can upload ebooks from any platform you get them, and you can synchronize with, of course, the catalog from StreetLib stores. And you can read. There is an app for Android phones and Apple iPhones. And it's also available on your internet browser at read.streetlib.com. And basically...
What's the advantage of using StreetLib Read versus my Kindle reader?
Mm-hmm. We opened StreetLib Read a few weeks back, and I would say right now the advantage is, if you don't have a specific device, now you have an app that can open any of your ebooks.
So if I'm an author and I'm selling, so I've created my page on my website that says, here's buy my book. Maybe it would be nice to say, and here's where you get the StreetLib Read app, so you can read it in any device that you want. Is that what you're looking toward?
Yeah. And our goal is actually to make this application very social, connected to the rest of the world, meaning when you start reading, maybe there is a video linked to what you're reading, and so you would get an easy way to connect that together and also share with fellow readers what you are reading, and with notes and everything. basically have a reading experience like if you were in a sort of book club and commenting on what you read. But
I see. That's where the video comes in. So if I'm reading a nice book, I can just hit the video button and talk about it and share that on social media.
That's a possibility. What I meant before was more about, topic related content. So that if you're reading a book where they mention, I don't know, lynx animals, and you would get a nice suggestion of a video of lynx coming from I don't know where, because a reader before read the book and said, oh, this makes me think of this video. I will link it there so that people can see it if they want. That's kind of, the project, the end goal of the application. Right now, it's a basic reading app, and we are adding features as we go. What I can tell you is very soon you will be able to read offline. So have the books from your library on StreetLib Read available even if you don't have an internet connection. For me, it's an amazing opportunity, especially for regions like the countries in Africa where we are just setting up. Because one thing that I realized is that even though you might be in poor populations that don't have an easy access to paper books, because there are not a lot of printers and books are imported and cost a lot of money, most people actually own a smartphone, meaning they could read, and there are so many free ebooks available that it can support reading in all these regions very easily. Because another point that is really important to realize when we are not in this region is that publishing to big international outlets like Apple, Google Play Store, Amazon, etc., doesn't mean that it will be available worldwide. If you go to the Amazon Kindle store in the Gambia, you will find 0 ebooks. There are none. They are not available there.
So the Gambia is in West Africa. It's the little finger that protrudes into Senegal, separating the north and the south. And it's English speaking, not French speaking. So it is a market for English language books.
Yeah, the reason that I'm mentioning this country is actually because we are partnering with an author that you might have heard about, who is Mark Williams.
Yes.
Mark Williams is the editor-in-chief of the New Publishing Standard, which is an online magazine about publishing in a very worldwide vision. And the New Publishing Standard was an initiative from Antonio Tombolini, our founder. So we discussed a lot with Mark Williams, and he was the one who mentioned the fact that there are no ebooks on Amazon in his country, and on many other online bookstores, he won't find anything because they are not distributed there. When actually on StreetLib stores, which is all the catalog we distribute, all the books are available everywhere, if the publisher decided to publish it worldwide, of course.
So what does that mean for authors, particularly authors, because we're speaking in English here, who speak English, to have their books available to such a worldwide audience?
I would say, first, the opportunity is great because you can find readers that you wouldn't be able to reach otherwise. But then you have the challenge of being able to get to them in your promotion and marketing, etc. But then again, you can find online many communities of readers that are from different regions of the world where English-speaking readers gather and would be glad to know about your book. So once you have this worldwide vision, you can change a bit the way you communicate and look for people not only in your country, but all over the world. And then there is no limit to where you could find your readers. We actually sell books in about 180 different countries and territories. So that's pretty international, I would say.
As a travel writer, that just thrills me.
Yeah, you should definitely look into that. There are online, there are many groups of readers from all regions of the world, and I'm
I do
sure
a
they
book
would be
reading
interested.
in the Gambia. That would be fun. I traveled there many years ago.
You
Yeah,
did?
I did.
Oh, wow.
And it was fascinating. The whole West Africa segment, Senegal and the Gambia, and a little further south, the Cote d'Ivoire. And I did in the Gambia meet a lot of Brits, a lot of British citizens who were vacationing
Yeah.
or even living there. And they definitely had a community. This was pre-internet, so I didn't know much about it until I got there. So I imagine that those little pockets exist all over the world, and reaching them, I mean, there's tiny little small audiences, but they may end up being very important to an author.
Yeah, and actually they are not so tiny. If you look up the new publishing standards, you'll see that Mark Williams often mentions book fairs from parts of the world where you would not imagine that there would be so big book fairs. It's amazing. Millions of books are being sold in those book fairs. So there is definitely a market that is generally ignored, but it's definitely there.
StreetLib certainly is innovative and different and very exciting. And I've watched you grow over the past decade or whenever you first published the site in English. And it's been fun to watch. You told us a lot about how authors can benefit from features, particularly in StreetLib. But I wanted just to ask you in closing, do you have any particular tip or thought you'd like to leave authors with?
Yeah, I would say the best way to go for me is not to dismiss any option. So the first thing to do is see what are all the things I could do to spread my book, and then explore all of these options. There is no reason to limit to one choice. And then the selection will be made just by itself. Don't worry. But there are many ways to publish, and there are many, many, many people online who are willing to help with any of these parts. So explore and then go everywhere, and you will get your book to the readers that are looking for your book.
It's been really, really a pleasure talking with you, and I'm looking forward to seeing all the new features that you're releasing in the future. StreetLib.com, LIB.com. I hope you'll visit.
It was a pleasure.
So that's it for now. I hope you'll listen in on the next episode of the Author Friendly Podcast. You can find the show notes at www.authorfriendly.com, and you'll also find links to places you can find me on the socials. Also, free resources like my Consumer's Guide for Self-Publishers with reviews of all the tools, services, and products you'll hear about on this podcast. And hey, if you like the podcast, I'd appreciate a quick or a detailed review on iTunes or Stitcher. It helps a lot to float the podcast to the top so more authors can find it. All that and more on authorfriendly.com, and a preview of what you'll hear next week too. Signing off till then, thanks for listening.